plants that I divided previously, it's important to keep them, stop the roots drying off. Certainly if you've got a kind of warm winds or the weather's quite sunny. So after they've been divided, if you're not going to do them straight away, put them in a plastic bag and then just put them somewhere out of the sun. I've got a range of sizes of pots here, ranging from one, and they're changing not only the diameter but also the depth. And this is commonly known as a 1 litre pot. This is called a 4-inch pot, and this is called a 9 centimetre pot. So as you can see, pots descriptions change in size and volume quite a bit. Now when you divide your plants, you're going to end up with little divisions of different sizes. So don't be tempted to put them all in one size pot. You're going to need a range of pots to put the different size divisions in. I'm going to start off with the small one, and this is going to go in what we call a 9 centimetre or 3.5 inch pot. I'm using some compost that I've just made. Now it's important to try to use fresh compost, or certainly compost that is not too wet or hasn't been allowed to dry out. If it's too wet, you'll find that when you put it in, you'll over-compact it. And if it's too dry, not only will it stress the plants, but again, it's very difficult to get the kind of right amount of compost in your pot. So you want a little bit of moisture in your compost. What I do is rest my fingers on the side of the pot, holding the rhizome just at kind of below pot level, with the roots going down into the pot. Get the compost, just pour it around. What I like to do is shake the plant or tap the pot while I'm doing that, and that allows the compost to fall in around the roots. Tap the plant. You can gently firm with the tips of your fingers. Don't be tempted to push it down with your thumbs. If there's a little bit of lot of growth above the pot when you've just planted, it's a good idea just to cut back or break off some of the foliage so that the plant isn't stressed too much with losing water and doesn't rock around in the wind. When I've done this, I put the plant immediately into a tray of water, so it draws up the water and the plant again isn't going to be too stressed. Here we have a medium-sized division. Looking at this one, I've got a few old bits of last year's leaves. Great opportunity to pick these off. And this one is going into our 4-inch pot. Again, roots straight down, holding the rhizome just at pot surface level, pouring the compost in, trying to make sure that the rhizome is in the centre of the pot. So we've got a few years before the rhizome grows across and hits the side. Give it a few more taps. Here we are, finished. Put it again in the water. And now we have our larger piece. Again, give it a little bit of a clean off, get rid of the old leaves. It's a good idea to get rid of these, because the old leaves, because after dividing, you do put your plant under a little bit of stress. And it can be a chance when you can get botrytis starting in on the old growth. When I say botrytis, that's grey mould. And that's probably one of the biggest killers of Sarracenias or North American pitcher plants after they've been repotted. Certainly around about March time, when the temperature and the humidity rises, you can get fungal problems starting on damaged growth. Again, the roots are going down to the bottom of the pot, not bent up. The plant is in the centre of the pot. Pour the compost around. Try to do that evenly. Just using the tips of the fingers to move it in. A few taps. That one is done. Into the water.